just finished up LCI Northern California Last Planner System in Design sold out event.
Yeah.
Justin, you had a huge part in it. It was Justin, Ron, and Larry, 3 giants of Last Planner in Design. Because as we heard right before we started this interview, Paul was telling you he came all the way from Davis to here, and he said this guy is real. And I was like, right or wrong?
No, that's true. True statement.
Yeah,
True
so
statement.
You talked about how to set up teams with Last Planner. You focused on target value delivery and design. And what can you tell people listening to this video? They're thinking like, I've heard of Last Planner, I've not heard of it. Should I do this? Like some team wants me to do it. Like what would you do to encourage them to learn and like jump in?
Yeah, I mean, I think really that's the part there. I would just encourage everybody, be curious and experiment and try new things. The industry needs that type of effort if we're ever going to change and improve for the greater good, So along with that, Last Planner System is a great vehicle to do that, because with that comes all of these connected conversations that are important. So when you're working with all these other different, trade partners, disciplines, if you have commonality through a system approach like Last Planner, and you all have taken the time to understand that, then you have a fundamental baseline to which you can then work together with. And that can allow you to make those key decisions. It can also allow you to collectively assess and agree on risk. Because if you've taken the time to weigh that, you've taken the time to understand it, and collectively you've made a decision, hey, we're gonna do this innovation, we understand there's this risk associated it, collectively we've all decided to accept that because we think that the positives outweigh the negatives. This is how you're gonna be able to change that industry. And so again, the fundamentals along that, the Last Planner System is huge for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the questions that you guys were getting after, I mean, here we are, it's like well past, the event ended a long time ago. Lights have been flickered on us multiple times. We're still haven't left yet. And there's no sign of us leaving. Like people are still here talking about this event and what they learned and asking you questions. What's something that you got asked today, you were like, I didn't think people were thinking about this?
Well, the questions are along the estimating. Those were fantastic. I think early on in the project, and it's so relevant because, LCI just had the Design Forum event in Chicago, and the role of the design manager was front and center, And one of the panel presentations, actually, you had people from different, industries talking about their vision of the design manager, and it was all different. So when you look at that and you look at that from the cost estimating perspective, those are the questions that I like to hear and like to engage with, because if we can get the cost estimator to understand a little bit more the design perspective, play the role as the designer a little bit, and vice versa, we can get the designer to be looking at things that from a cost estimator's viewpoint, that is going to be really important and allow you to chase down so many different solutions and get information to the owner so they can make a weighted decision.
Absolutely. And you're watching this clip, you didn't see the beautiful artwork that Justin created for his slides. It is next level. I got to give you a fist bump. I mean, the things that he did to bring to life these concepts was like, your pictures are worth a million words.
Thank you.
So I just want to call that out. And if you didn't come to see it, you should fear that you missed something great, because that was amazing. I mean, you went through concepts that I've been through, sometimes 2-day experiences or workshops or onboarding with teams, and you had some visuals that just got me there like in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And the one that I really liked is when you talked about set-based design and how you just have this large, and you did like this with your hands, you're like large set, and how it's evaluated. People in the audience perked up and were paying attention, because we hear this set-based design talked about, but people never can see the process. What's something that you can just enlighten people watching this clip to hey, how do I set this up? Besides calling you, definitely call him, because he knows what he's doing. But if they can't call you, what could they do to set these up on their jobs?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to, again, understand what you're trying to do, and don't look at the shiny object first. There's a lot of tools that we use, but if you just rely on the tool, you're gonna fail. So it's really, you got to look past that and understand the system approach that you're doing. Again, Last Planner, that's a system approach. with that comes a certain culture, a certain collaboration, and you know, the fundamental, if you look at the 5 functions of a team and you look at that pyramid stack, in order to get that results, which is the top of the pyramid, that foundation level at the bottom is trust.
Yeah.
So, you know, working on developing these behaviors is super key. Once you can do that, then you will know automatically, and the team will help you use what tools you need, you know? And so from there, it's painting that picture, you know, and I'm an architect.
Yeah.
So I work in visual. Also
Works
work
in pictures.
Yeah, quick, you know, fun fact. I got ridiculed by a superintendent because they showed a plan and they were like, "What's wrong with this plan?" And I was like, "There's not enough color," because it wasn't clear enough. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you had a little bit more color to differentiate the different swim lanes, you could see it, you know, automatically, right? So
Yeah, and I loved even on your A3 example that you share, which created a ton of buzz, surprise. Like you had people's actual signatures on the bottom of an A3. Can you talk about like what is that for people that don't even know what does that mean to have somebody sign that piece of paper?
Yeah, well, it's the key stakeholders that were each of those signatures represented a different stakeholder that was critical to that solution. And so again, the power is in that acceptance. So, you know, it's one thing to talk about something, it's another thing to document that, and it's another thing entirely when you're asked to sign it. And it really takes that focus into, is this what we really want to do? Have we considered the right options? And are we really coming up with the best solution? So when you get those signatures in, everybody's signing in saying that they've accepted those answers and that they feel that this is the best approach. So it sometimes can be scary. You know, I've done mock-ups, physical mock-ups, and then when we walk the end users through, we have them actually sign off on the mock-up if they like it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, again, it's a process of acceptance, but it brings everybody in and makes them feel more involved in the solution.
Yeah, I love that. So it's planned, process, signed, sealed, delivered. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.